The internet thought it had seen the last of Claressa Shields' headline-stealing chaos. But tonight, she's back with a twist, so wild it's dragging in not just her former flame Papoose, but also track and field's most controversial star, Sha'Carri Richardson. What's unfolding right now is part humiliation, part legal nightmare, and part industry conspiracy. And it's all happening in real time. It started with a single post from Claressa that nobody could fully decode. A black and white video clip, only 8 seconds long, showing Papoose looking visibly cornered at what appeared to be a private dinner. The caption, just 2 words, "Ask Sha'Carri." Within minutes, the speculation machine went into overdrive. What could a world champion boxer, a veteran hip-hop figure, and an Olympic-level sprinter possibly have in common? Then, the leaks began. Screenshots of private messages, a short audio snippet. And finally, the bombshell, an insider claiming that Claressa has been sitting on a piece of evidence so devastating that it could blow up Papoose's reputation and derail Sha'Carri's already fragile public standing in one move. Now, the story's spreading like wildfire. Fans are picking sides, journalists are scrambling for facts. And hashtags like hashtag #PAPOOSE exposed and hashtag SHA scandal are climbing the trending charts. But the real danger? We've heard whispers that the most damaging piece hasn't even been dropped yet, and when it does, it could destroy careers permanently by the time the sun came up. Claressa's cryptic Ask Sha'Carri post had already crossed 1 million views and triggered an avalanche of theories. Some thought it was a clever publicity stunt for a new endorsement. Others swore it was personal, the way Claressa's jaw clenched in that clip. The deliberate way she tagged neither Papoose nor Sha'Carri, but still made it impossible for them to ignore. Papoose didn't take long to react. By 8:15 a.m., his Instagram story was a plain black background with the words, "Keep my name out your mouth." Simple, direct, but shaky. Screenshots from those who saw it early showed the text slightly off-center, something small, but to fans, a sign. He typed it in a rush. Sha'Carri, on the other hand, stayed silent. Not a single post. No likes, no comments, nothing. And that silence made things worse. Within an hour, fan accounts were pulling up old footage of Sha'Carri and Claressa laughing together at a charity gala, zooming in on every touch, every glance, trying to figure out if there had been something deeper between them. But then came the first leak. At 9:42 a.m., an anonymous Twitter account posted 3 screenshots allegedly from a group chat between Claressa, Papoose, and Sha'Carri. In them, Claressa accused Papoose of lying about how long he'd been involved with Sha'Carri. And Sha'Carri fired back with, "You told me she knew. Don't flip it now." The timestamps were from 3 months ago. The internet exploded. Bloggers went live mid-morning, piecing together timelines, while gossip pages flooded with fan edits showing side-by-side photos of Papoose at music events and Sha'Carri at meets. Some dates suspiciously close. Papoose's camp tried to do damage control. A source told one outlet the messages were fabricated and part of a smear campaign from someone bitter. But that line didn't stick, because the same anonymous account doubled down an hour later with a short audio clip. In the clip, a man with Papoose's unmistakable voice says, "If this gets out, I'm done. I can't have people thinking I messed up my marriage, for the rest is drowned out by background noise." But the pause after marriage was enough to set the internet ablaze. Now this wasn't just messy, it was potentially career-ending. Papoose had built a reputation on loyalty and devotion to Remy Ma. If there was even a hint that he'd been seeing Sha'Carri behind the scenes, his carefully crafted image would crumble overnight. And Claressa, she wasn't backing down. Just after noon, she posted a photo of herself in the gym, gloves on, captioned, "I don't play fair when you come for me." The comment section turned into a battlefield. Some fans praised her for exposing the truth, while others accused her of trying to destroy two black icons for clout. But Claressa wasn't finished. Minutes later, she posted another story, a blurry close-up of what looked like a medical document. People squinted at it, trying to read the details, but before they could, the story vanished. Deleted, theories exploded. Was it a pregnancy test? A hospital intake form? Something linking Sha'Carri and Papoose in a way nobody had even imagined yet. Meanwhile, Sha'Carri's silence was getting louder. The track star had a history of firing back at critics, often with fiery language and zero filter. The fact that she wasn't saying a word made even her supporters uneasy. Some started speculating that she was under legal advice to stay quiet, which only made the situation feel more serious. By early evening, media outlets were officially calling it a cross-industry scandal. Sports pages were covering it. Hip-hop blogs were dissecting it. Even mainstream news channels mentioned it in their entertainment segments. And then, just when it felt like things couldn't escalate any further, a second anonymous account appeared. This one claimed to be a mutual friend of all three, and promised to release the real story if certain people didn't come clean by midnight. The countdown had begun. Every major gossip page was now refreshing by the minute, waiting for the next drop. Fans were screenshotting everything before it could get deleted. Hashtags like hashtag CLARESSA exposes and hashtag PAPOOSE SHOCKS were climbing. And one particularly damning theory began circulating. That Claressa's deleted medical document was proof of a physical connection between Sha'Carri and Papoose that went way beyond rumors. In private group chats, industry insiders were allegedly bracing for something huge. One leaked DM from a well-known DJ read, "If this is what I think it is, careers are over tonight." And as the clock inched toward midnight, the tension online was suffocating. People weren't logging off. They were staying glued to their phones, ready for the drop that could flip the entire narrative in seconds. But nobody was ready for what actually came next. The internet was holding its breath as the clock ticked toward midnight. Every live stream, every gossip page, every group chat was locked in. People joked it felt like waiting for New Year's Eve, except instead of fireworks, it was going to be reputations going up in flames. At 11:58 p.m., the so-called mutual friend account posted a single black screen with white text. They had a deal. She broke it. He lied. Now everyone's paying the price. Underneath, it said, "Drop incoming in 2 minutes." When midnight hit, the upload was instant. A carousel of images and a 42-second audio clip that sent shockwaves across the internet. The first image, a clear, high-resolution photo of that same medical document Claressa had teased earlier. This time, it wasn't blurry. It was a clinic record dated 3 months ago with Sha'Carri's full legal name in the top corner. Below, under emergency contact, was Papoose's government name. The second image was a cropped screenshot of what appeared to be a text conversation between Sha'Carri and Papoose. Sha'Carri's bubble read, "You said you'd handle Claressa before she found out. Now she's DMing me receipts. This isn't what we agreed on." The third image, the one that truly detonated, showed a selfie of Papoose and Sha'Carri in what looked like a private hotel suite. He was shirtless, she was in a robe. The timestamp matched the date on the clinic record almost exactly. And then, the audio clip, it began mid-conversation. Papoose's voice low and urgent. "If she goes public, I'm cooked. You think Remy's gonna forgive me for this? Nah, this is it. This is career suicide." A female voice matching Sha'Carri's replied, "Then you better fix it, 'cause I'm not going down alone." The internet lost its mind. Within seconds, Twitter was a wall of capital letters, disbelief, and furious speculation. Instagram. Comment sections hit thousands of replies in minutes. TikTok was flooded with split-screen reactions. Memes were being made before the clip even finished playing. Papoose's camp moved fast, too fast. By 12:15 a.m., they released a statement calling the leaks malicious fabrications and digitally altered smears. But the damage was already done. The images didn't look fake. The voices in the audio didn't sound AI-generated. And the timestamps lined up with known public appearances, giving the whole thing terrifying credibility. Claressa, of course, didn't let the moment pass. At 12:22 a.m., she dropped a short video on Instagram, her sitting in her car smirking into the camera saying, "Told y'all I don't bluff." That was it. No tags, no extra commentary, just the smirk that said everything. Sha'Carri finally broke her silence at 12:38 a.m. But instead of a direct denial, she posted a cryptic tweet. "Y'all believe anything. Keep running your mouths." By 1 a.m., hashtags like #PAPOOSEGate, #ShawCarri and #CLARESSA was right were dominating global trends. YouTubers were going live with emergency streams to break down every frame of the leaks. Sports commentators were awkwardly weighing in, unsure how to handle a scandal that blurred the line between hip-hop gossip and athletic controversy. And then, out of nowhere, an entirely new angle dropped. A well-known blogger claimed that Sha'Carri's case, a legal dispute involving a sponsorship fallout, was directly tied to the same time period as the alleged hotel meeting with Papoose. This suggested that whatever happened between them wasn't just personal drama. It may have had financial and contractual implications that could explain Sha'Carri's ongoing issues with certain sponsors. The blogger even hinted that Claressa had handed over documents to one of those sponsors earlier in the year, which may have influenced their decision to cut ties with Sha'Carri, if true. This meant Claressa's revenge wasn't spontaneous. It was a long game, months in the making. Papoose, meanwhile, was nowhere to be found. No live streams, no interviews, not even a defensive post on social media after that initial statement. For a man who'd built his image on being outspoken, his silence was deafening and suspicious. By 2:15 a.m., a new theory was going viral. That Papoose had already spoken to legal counsel and been advised to say nothing while preparing for potential lawsuits. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was starting to look like the kind of scandal that drags people into courtrooms, in private group chats. Influencers and insiders were allegedly trading even more damaging material that hadn't hit the public yet. One DM screenshot leaked by a podcaster read, "The real bomb hasn't dropped. If they post that video, it's over for all three of them." Fans stayed awake, refreshing in the hopes of seeing that video. Some claim to have seen a short pixelated version, but nothing verifiable surfaced. Still, the fear of its existence kept the tension high, because if the hotel selfie and clinic record were bad, whatever was on that video had to be catastrophic. By sunrise, the story was everywhere from Shade Room to ESPN, and while the public was already calling it one of the wildest scandals of the year, Claressa was hinting there was still one more piece of the puzzle that could completely flip the narrative. By the time the morning headlines hit, Claressa had taken full control of the narrative. Every network, every blog, every influencer was parroting her name, her posts, her side of the story. Papoose had been reduced to a shadow. Sha'Carri was still dodging direct answers, and the internet was bracing for whatever one more piece Claressa had promised to drop. At exactly 10 a.m., she went live on Instagram. The viewer count skyrocketed 150K in the first 2 minutes, climbing to 320,000 before she even said a word. She sat in the center of the frame. No makeup, no filter, wearing a hoodie pulled over her head. The silence stretched long enough to make viewers start spamming the chat with question marks. Then she leaned forward and said, Y'all been asking for proof? I've been holding this because I didn't want to ruin careers. But they didn't give me that courtesy, so here we are. She reached off screen, grabbed her phone, and turned it toward the camera. On it played a video, not grainy, not pixelated, but crystal clear. Papoose and Sha'Carri seated together in what looked like a VIP lounge, whispering to each other. The audio wasn't loud, but it was unmistakable. Papoose was saying, "Claressa's not gonna find out. I told her I was in Miami that weekend." Sha'Carri laughed and replied, "She's smarter than you think." The chat exploded. Comments flew faster than they could load. "Oh my God," and she got him spammed across the screen. People were screen recording in real time, knowing the video wouldn't stay up for long. Claressa didn't stop there. She followed the video with a screenshot of what she claimed was a Venmo transfer from Papoose to Sha'Carri for travel expenses dated just days before that alleged clinic visit. The amount? $7,500. The note? A single airplane EMOJ. It was the smoking gun moment. The kind of evidence that could take something from rumor territory into undeniable fact. And Claressa knew it. Her voice was steady, but there was fire behind it. As she said, "Don't ever think you can disrespect me and still walk away clean. I'm not the one." Within minutes, multiple PR teams were in overdrive. A sports network issued a vague statement in support of Sha'Carri, but called the situation a personal matter. Hip-hop radio hosts were already debating if this was the end of Papoose's public image as the loyal husband. Sha'Carri finally addressed it head-on in a brief Twitter space that barely lasted 5 minutes. "Half y'all don't even know the truth," she snapped. "Claressa's just mad I don't kiss her ring. As for Papoose, ask him about Remy before you ask me anything." That last line was like throwing a grenade into an already burning building. It implied there were layers to this drama that no one had touched yet. Layers involving Remy Ma herself. By noon, #AskRemy was trending. Fans were tagging her non-stop, demanding she confirm or deny Sha'Carri's insinuation. Remy stayed completely silent, but her lack of response only made people more certain that something was going on behind the scenes. And just when it seemed like things might settle, an anonymous TMZ tipster claimed that Claressa's evidence was only part of what she had, and that the rest was so explosive it could wreck endorsement deals, brand partnerships, and even result in legal action. That same tipster also claimed that the fallout from this drama was spilling over into Sha'Carri's ongoing case, suggesting that certain sponsors were already considering cutting ties permanently if the rumors continued to snowball. This tied the personal scandal directly to the financial and professional stakes in a way that made the whole thing even more volatile. By late afternoon, paparazzi were swarming Papoose's known hangouts. One video clip showed him ducking into a black SUV while ignoring shouted questions like, "Did you pay for Sha'Carri's clinic visit? And what does Remy think about all this?" His silence was now reading as guilt to most people watching. Meanwhile, Claressa posted one more cryptic story before disappearing from social media for the rest of the day. It was a black screen with the words, "You still think I'm bluffing? Wait till Friday." No explanation, no context. Just a date, 2 days away, and the threat of something even bigger. The reaction was instantaneous. Twitter Spaces popped up debating what Friday could mean. Was she releasing the rumored hotel video in full? Was she sitting on receipts involving Remy? Or was she about to expose yet another player in this already tangled web? One thing was certain: the drama had shifted from a messy 3-person feud into a full-blown media circus with no clear end in sight. And if Claressa's past moves were any indication, whatever she had planned for Friday wasn't going to be a quiet reveal. It was going to be a career-shattering spectacle. By nightfall, even mainstream evening news anchors were covering the story with thinly veiled fascination. This wasn't just hip-hop gossip or sports drama anymore. It had become the kind of scandal that crossed every industry line, pulling in audiences who normally wouldn't care. And as the day ended, fans across the world set reminders for Friday. Everyone knew that whatever Claressa had in store next could rewrite the narrative entirely, and no one wanted to miss the moment it dropped. But behind the scenes, whispers suggested that the people involved weren't waiting till Friday to act. Rumors of cease and desist letters, emergency legal filings, and even private settlement talks started bubbling. If those rumors were true, Claressa might be under pressure to keep certain things off the record, or risk a legal war that could get ugly fast. Still, if her tone was any indication, she had no plans to back down. And that meant the biggest bombshell of this entire saga might still be locked and loaded. And that's where we're leaving it for now. But if you think today's chaos was wild, just remember, Claressa hasn't even played her final card. She's dangling Friday like it's Judgment Day, and judging by her track record, when that clock hits, she's not holding back. Papoose is in hiding. Sha'Carri is lashing out, and Remy's silence is deafening. Every new post, every cryptic story, every slip-up from the people involved is adding gasoline to a fire that's already burning out of control. And the scariest part? If those insider leaks are right, we've only scratched the surface. So, here's the deal. If you want to be the first to see exactly what drops on Friday, you need to lock in right now. Hit that like button so this story keeps spreading. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Is Claressa exposing the truth, or is this a calculated takedown? And make sure you subscribe with notifications